Forget to do that. There we go.
Okay, we'll get started in just a minute. See, Stephanie's here from the library. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello, hello. So happy to join you again this evening.
Great to have you. She is the business librarian at TWU. So I know there's some students on here as well from the College of Business that she is a great person to know.
And always happy to help.
Yes. All right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the TWU Center for Women Entrepreneurs quarterly event. I'm Tracy Irby, and unfortunately, my camera is not working. Everything will show up but me. I have even gone all the way out and come back in. So I apologize for that. We have Donalisa Stinyard on as well. She is our program director. So you'll be able to see her tonight. So that's good if you have any questions. So if you're not familiar with us, we are part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership at Texas Women's University. And we're dedicated to preparing more women to take on successful roles in business and public service. It's 3 specialized centers, ours, the Center for Student Leadership, and the Center for Women in Politics and Public Policy ensure women have the education to establish careers as successful C-suite executives, the skills for building entrepreneurial businesses, and the framework needed to run for public office. Our center, the Center for Women Entrepreneurs, was funded in 2015 by the state legislature just to help promote women entrepreneurs anywhere throughout the state. And we do that through small business advising, networking and training. We have many different training programs as well. And then of course, great events like this one as well. We also do funding for those. We currently have our Start Her grant open, and we have a training program for women as well, one in Denton. We have applications open in Dallas and in Houston as well right now. So we've been staying very busy. So we're so glad all of you are here. If you could put your name in the chat. If you do own a business, put the business name in there as well. Donalisa, do you have any housekeeping before we do our introduction?
Yes. So if you have any questions, so we'll let Tanya do her, unless she has breaks in where she wants to do questions. Tanya, what do you want to do?
I'll take questions throughout. And I also have a couple of things I want to do from an interactive standpoint. So,
okay. All right. So if you have any questions for her, just throw them in the chat. When she gets a break, we'll go through them. And yeah, perfect.
Okay, well, let's get started then. So tonight, we're so pleased to have Tanya Smith here with us. Tanya is a video strategist and business coach. Tanya Smith works with coaches and course creators to amplify their voice and embrace their face on video so they can stand out online, serve more people, and sell more of their services. You'll find Tanya every week on YouTube and Facebook sharing strategies and tools to empower her audience to stream like a boss. I'm so pleased to introduce Tanya Smith.
Gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I think what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to take over and I'm going to put myself in the spotlight. Oh, what introvert says that? The reason why I'm going to do that is because I will show slides through a virtual cam. So I'm not doing it through Zoom. I'm doing it through a virtual cam. And I want to make sure that you're clearly able to see everything as we walk through some of the messaging. And as I mentioned, when asked, if you do have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Just put them in the chat. I'll be scanning for those probably during, but definitely towards the end of our time. I'll reach back out and look and make sure that I've covered everything that you've asked as much as I possibly can. Now, one thing about me that you need to know is that I'm very transparent. So if there's something I don't know, I will tell you. I don't know, but let's find a resource. And I'm pretty resourceful. I get called often a walking Google. So if there's an online app or anything that might help you to streamline what you're doing and be more efficient in your business, feel free to put it out there and let's see what we can find. I love all the introductions and seeing what you all do. And here's a tip. If you do have a question that you don't want me to miss, the tip that I would give you is to put a Q and a colon in front of your question. That might make things just slightly easier for me to find them because I know there's going to be some chat, some inner chat that's going on too. The other thing that I'll mention to you is that we're going to take some time to do a little interaction. So there are going to be different points in the presentation that I have for you where I want to ask your input and I want to find out where you are in different spaces of what we talk about, because really they're truly just like with any other type of media or marketing in general, there's going to be different phases that each of you are in. I'm still in a phase of growth and learning myself, no matter how long I've been doing business, right? There's always learning. And that's one of the things that I love about video. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up our slides. And tonight we're going to talk about 3 secrets to drive business engagement with live video. And I will do this. I'm going to, I'll walk you through the slides, but I'm going to tell you again that I'm pretty flexible. So depending on where our conversation goes, and if there's something again that really kind of hits you and you need me to drive it home a little bit more or to clarify information around that specific point, feel free to put that in the chat and I'll be watching for that. Okay. All right. Are we ready? If you're ready, I want you to go ahead and put a 1 in the comments, in the chat. I'm going to test this chat and make sure it's working. Yes, 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 yes. 1. Awesome sauce. All right. So what we're going to do, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. We got a number 1 coming up. Everybody's ready. Let's go. So we're going to talk first about what you're going to learn. So what I want, my hope for you is that you're going to leave here with more clarity. That's the big ticket thing. I want you to be able to leave here with more clarity about how you can actually build excitement, how you can start engaging an audience by using video, but in particular, I love live streaming video. And I have to say that as an introvert, that's the last thing you would have ever told me 5, 10 years ago, even 2 years ago that I'd be doing. Because live streaming almost feels a whole lot like, well, it's public speaking. That's what it is. And we all know that public speaking is a huge fear for many people. You put yourself out there on camera and anybody can see, anybody can hear what you're saying, and it leaves a lot of room for transparency. That's almost a blessing and a curse, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I want to give you 3 tips that you can apply. And if there's anything that stands out to you, I want you to make sure to write that 1 tip down that you know you're going to implement between now and next week, because my guess is that you'll be able to take away probably more than 1. But if something really stands out to you, I want you to make sure that you write this down so that you can implement within the next week. So you're in the right place if you are a visionary who wants to reach more people with your message. And I think this really is something this is what we all do. We all, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as servant leaders, want to serve more people. And in order for us to do that, that means we have to have visibility. People have to see us. They have to know us. They have to know what we're even talking about. Otherwise, how do we reach them? They don't know what our message is if they don't hear it or see us. If you want to use or you have been using on-camera video, and I heard a couple of you mention earlier that you want to use more video in your business, some of you are probably saying, I don't really know. I don't think I'm a video type of person. And some of you are saying, nope, I'm just here because I love coming to this center, this women's center events. So if you're a person who wants to use or has been using video, I want you to type in a 3. If you're someone who is kind of thinking about it, you haven't quite done it yet, but you're thinking about it and you could potentially be convinced by the end of tonight, put a 2. And if there is no way ever that you're going to do video, but you just love the camaraderie, you just love these type of events, put a number 1. I want to check. I'm going to look and see what I'm seeing in the chat here. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, that gives me a gauge for who we have in the audience. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. If you also want more of your audience members to actually invest money with you, I know that many of us have been taught that you have to go through these really, really long sales cycle processes, right? You have to use the old school approach of driving people through a funnel, and it could take 2 to 3 years before someone makes a decision. I want to tell you that video really dramatically can shortcut that time. And I'll share with you why and how. So we're going to talk about some tips that will help you in this space. And thank you so much for participating and for letting me know where you are in the spectrum of wanting to know about more video or using it yourself. That's really super helpful. Okay. And I did see a question asking, what am I using to present this virtual camera? So I am using something called Ecamm. And Ecamm Live is basically, it is a live streaming platform that gives you the ability to be able to do magical things with your videos. And I honestly discovered it last year. I was already using other types of video platforms, but I love this platform because it gives you the ability to not only stream to some of the traditional spaces like YouTube and Facebook and those things, but it also gives you this option of being able to use a virtual camera wherever you are. So it literally is recognizing any app that I use that has a webcam feature. I can choose Ecamm as my virtual camera, and I can use their virtual microphone to transmit my face and what I'm saying over into that space. So that's what I'm using with Zoom. And if you love that, let me show you some of my animations that I can use here, which is also really cool. I get super excited about doing crazy stuff like that because it does something to disrupt, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. It does something to disrupt the flow of information. So people are not just looking at your face on camera or just at the slides, but they're getting a full experience. And that's part of what keeps people engaged, especially in a live stream. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. What I want you to do right now is, she said, do that again, please. I know, right? Isn't that cool? It is super cool. It's on fire. I have so many animations. I won't get caught up in them, I promise. But one of the things I hope that you'll do is to give yourself space to participate, because I know I'm like you. I attend a lot of different webinars. I go to different meetings. I attend workshops and I listen to speakers. And I promise I will give you that too, Laura. I promise I will. One of the things that happens when we attend these type of events is we love it while we're there, or maybe we don't. Sometimes we get distracted because life is going on. So your phone is buzzing, the doorbell's ringing, the dogs are barking, the baby's crying, all the things are happening. What I hope you'll do, at least just for the next few minutes, is to give yourself some space to participate and give yourself some space to really learn. Just take away, your goal should just be, I promise you, to take away 1 point. If you just take away one of the nuggets I'm going to share with you, it can be a very powerful thing. It could be the one thing that possibly changes everything you do in your business. So just stick with me and get one idea. That's my goal for you, is to take away one idea. Now, I'm going to share with you these 3 ideas. So 3 things: practical tips to get ready for live streaming on camera. So I want to show you how you can get yourself ready. Secondly, I want to talk to you about how to get more of your ideal clients' eyeballs on your videos. I like to call these your most valuable video viewer, your MV3. I do a whole course on the MV3. The reason for this is because what I think happens is people get so caught up in the idea of, hey, I want to be on camera and I just want to I want to be on camera and I want to just be seen. And if people see me, they're going to buy. And that's not accurate. What you want to do is you want to gear your specific content and what you're talking about to the people who ideally will want to invest in your services, programs, products, right? Not so much that you're trying to reach everybody. I'll share a little bit more about that. Everybody with skin is not your client. I'm going to share with you why that was something I had to learn a little bit of the hard way. All right. So the third thing, how to get more of your ideal clients' eyeballs on your videos, is what to do once you're on camera so that you can keep your audience engaged and ready to work with you. Because again, we're all business owners. We are owners of businesses. This is not a hobby for us. We're trying to we're creating a sustainable income that will support ourselves and our families and our loved ones and help us to be able to do the things we want to do. So we want people to watch and we want them to engage in conversation so that they're more likely to know, like, and trust us, and then decide to invest with us. So all of these things do matter when you're on camera. And I want to talk to you about this because it's so important for you to keep that in mind, that it's not just let me go viral on TikTok, right? I know a lot of people talk about that. Let me go viral on TikTok and I hope I can do reels and I'm going to be seen. And that's fine. That can lead to other things, but ultimately the goal is that you want to be a better business owner. You want to be an entrepreneur who truly is able to reach more people, sell more of your services, and of course, to stand out. So my promise for you for the rest of the time that we're together, if you haven't figured this out already, is that I'm going to give you real and practical advice. I want to help you to do more and better live videos. If you're already doing them, my goal is to help you to improve them. If you haven't done them or you're not doing them consistently, I want you to do more. If you're still thinking about it and you were a number 1, I hope that I can move you to a number 2, stage 2 by the time we get done. So this is the focus. This is what we want to dive into. If anybody wants to reach me, I'll have this slide towards the end as well, but I just wanted to share with you quickly how to reach me on my socials. The one that's in bold, streamlikeaboss.tv, is actually my social business card. It's kind of a mobile business card. So it literally has all of my social media channels, any one that you prefer, whatever your favorite social is, feel free to connect. Get in touch and stay connected. This is also where we post our live stream schedule because I go live each and every week, usually on Thursdays. But since I'm here with you tonight, I'm not going to go live tonight. We went live earlier this week with a special guest. So benefits. Okay. So my duty is, if I'm going to try to convince you that live streaming is good, my duty is to explain to you why it's beneficial in the first place. I can tell you that when I first started out with anything video, and mind you, again, being an introvert, and I mean, I'm one of those hardcore introverts. I'm the one years ago when I first started my business that would sit in the back of the room and, we'd have those networking organizations that everybody joins and you're passing out business cards. I would sit in the back of the room and kind of just hover because I did not know how to engage or to create conversation with people. I felt like I was always bothering folks, right? I felt like that was just not for me. It's amazing now how much more comfortable I I am in conversation with people who I can't even see. It's affordable now. When I first created a video bio, y'all, I spent thousands of dollars for a company to bring me in. I had to make a drive, like a 1.5 hour drive to their production studio. I had to sit and work with the script writer. I had to do several changes of clothes. It just took forever, right? It was almost a full day experience, and it was a lot of money. Doing the same thing that we can now do with our simple smartphones that we also probably have paid $1,000 for, right? But we carry it around and it does much more for us. So it's much more affordable now for you to go live. You do not have to have all the tech. You literally can use, more than likely, the thing that you carry in your pocket or purse right now. So very affordable to do live streaming. It's free on most platforms, unless you're using a third-party platform like Ecamm Live. And someone asked earlier, Ecamm Live, it is E, C as in Charlie, A, M as in Mary, M as in Mary, Live. I'll try to share a link towards the end so that I can make sure you have that. So it's affordable to do. It's really easy to do. It's pretty much free for the most part. You can build trust. It is, Tracy, you're right. It's so much easier for people to do videos now. You can build trust with video, because with live video in particular, remember all the things I just mentioned that were happening in your space? The dogs barking, the mailman ringing the, look, another Amazon delivery. If you're like me, you probably have yet another Amazon delivery coming to your door. If somebody just rang the doorbell, it's probably them. They know me by name now. But you got all this noise and all these different things going on. But guess what? People don't care, because when you're live streaming, they recognize that you are being fully human. And right now, this is that deeper connection piece that I want to talk about. People are craving human interaction, especially with the events of the last few years. People want personal interaction. They want to work with other humans. They don't want to buy from brick and mortar buildings or objects or robots. They want to buy from a human. So it's so important to really think about your personal brand and how you're creating, how you're humanitizing, right? Humanizing. Maybe that's a better way to put it. You're humanizing your brand. You're making yourself be another person that somebody can really interact with. And they feel like, hey, this person has all the quirks and things that, you know, any other real human being has. I've got dogs too. I love dogs. Can we see your dog in the live stream? So the trust factor is huge when it comes to live streaming, and the deeper connection that you can make with your audience when you're having a conversation with them and you're acknowledging them by name and saying, hey, Ken, it's so great that you're there in the audience asking questions. Let me address your question directly. That is so much different than us simply talking at the screen. And they know that they don't matter to you. When people feel like you're talking directly to them, it makes such a difference. It's huge. And then the other thing is, you stand out. You stand out online because not a lot of people, in spite of what you may think, not a lot of people are doing live video yet. More people are starting to do live stream video, and you see it more because the social feeds, the social platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, they're boosting, they're giving you live stream juice, right? They're boosting content that contains live video in their feeds because it makes them more money. Because if you are doing a live stream and you're engaging with an audience through your lives, they stay longer in the space. So they're boosting you and you get to stand out because not everybody's doing it. So when you think about the point I just made, one thing I want you to walk away with is this. When you do what others won't, you get the opportunities that others don't. So this is how you stand out by doing things that others typically won't. And most people still are too afraid to be on camera to even do it. So just think about, imagine what that could do for your business if you made a decision to really just try it. Just put your toe in the water and see if it could work for you. Okay. Now, why am I the one to share this? Because I, again, am one of the least likely people to do live video. I 2007 started a business. Around 2009, 2010-ish. I started using Twitter to really kind of pull together an audience for my teleseminars. So I was really set on, okay, I'm going to use audio. I love technology, but I used technology from an audio perspective. So I had a podcast. Anybody remember Blog Talk Radio? If you remember Blog Talk Radio, I used to do that. And I would host teleclasses. In fact, one of the things that really launched my Twitter community, which is still my largest community to date, is that I hosted a career summit for women of color, because I wanted to focus on the idea that there are many women of color who are underrepresented in certain high-level positions in their corporations. And so at the time, having an HR background, and I still have an HR background today, 30 years today with the same corporation and HR role. One of the things that I found to be really interesting is when I put together this telesummit, it didn't limit me to only having local speakers. I could pull in people from all over the world to be speakers for this event. And it was great. And I was rocking and rolling, and people would sign up, and all I had to do was put a tweet out there. And within 24 to 48 hours, my seats were full. I was getting asked to co-author books and to do speaking and all kinds of stuff, speaking on audio. I wasn't trying to do video. And then probably around 2015-ish, a lot of things started happening. One of the big things, one of the major life transformations for me, where I recognized what was more important in my life and started prioritizing, I'll say I right-sized my priorities. My husband was diagnosed with colon cancer. And because he was diagnosed with colon cancer, and at the same time, being a military veteran, he's always had experience in other countries. And so once he got out of the Marine Corps and went into the civilian space, he started working for a manufacturing company, and was traveling to Asia. He still does to this day travel to Asia quite often. And so while being over there, he was dealing with the chemotherapy, and I was dealing with him, trying to make sure that when he got home, he made his appointments, because he was only home for a week to 2 weeks. So we were working on that. I was trying to keep the business running. I was doing the corporate thing. I have 2 daughters. We have 3 dogs. So all the things were happening, and my organic reach was on a decline. I wasn't getting the type of hits that I was getting previously. I couldn't do the same things that I was doing before. It just was no longer working. And what I ended up figuring out, I had to make a life decision. Now, how many of you have had to make a life decision before? If you've had to make a life decision, I want you to type in life happens. And the thing I'm saying this to say that sometimes when you're going through that situation, yes, I see it. Look, everything you're giving me the evidence right here, and I'm loving it. Let me put this, I gotta put this hype up. Yes, you're giving me energy right now. Here's the thing, life does happen. And sometimes when we're going through it, we don't know why. We can't explain it. We feel like, why me? And we have these moments where we just kind of, at some point, sometimes go into a depression. And honestly, I was in that state, but I also was at a decision-making point, which happens with all of us. So everybody that put in their life happens, I bet you when life was happening or is happening, there's a decision that you have to make. There's a crossroads that you come to. And so I had to make a decision. Do I want to give something up? Do I need to give this whole idea of this side gig, this business that I'm growing? Do I give this up completely, or do I make a different decision? And my decision was that I wanted to do something that would still allow me to be able to grow the business, but at the same time to be able to care for my family and to make sure that I kept the main thing. The priorities were important, right? And so I made the decision because I kept hearing video. You need to do stories. You need to do live stream. You need to do video. And I kept ignoring it at first because that's what we do, right? Some of us, I'm in the remedial life class, so I have to get hit over the head multiple times. Yes, Donalisa, I know. Hey, we're in the same club. So I made a decision to try live. And what ended up happening was crazy. I started doing live streams and I started seeing my numbers grow. So like I said, the struggle is real. We've kind of talked a little bit about that. I'm going to come back to that slide in a minute, but I started seeing where I had no reach, I started getting an increase in reach. I started seeing more engagement. I started getting more page likes. So social media was doing its thing. It was asking me to do live video and I kept ignoring it. And when I said, okay, well, I'm going to try it, it said, okay, well, we're going to reward you. So they rewarded me with likes, engagement, and reach. And this is so important for you to think about, because a lot of times we're putting out content just because we think we should put it out there, but we're not looking at the metrics. We're not looking at, well, what is this going to do for my business? So your goal as you're putting out social media posts and content, which many of you probably are, if you are, it shouldn't just be, let me just put some content out here and see what sticks. It should be, let me put some quality content that can get me results. Even if it's not every day that you're posting, whatever you put out there should have a goal. It should have an objective. It should be meeting a need. It should be servicing your clients and potential clients in ways they didn't even know they needed. Some of them are going to come to you for more of an expanded experience, and some of them will just see it and keep moving, and that's okay, but you need to put some effort into it. Yes, Janetta, so true. This year, my page has tripled off of videos and lives on foot care. Yes. What an awesome niche, because the more people can see and hear and really experience what you're sharing, the more likely they are going to invest in what you have to offer. So I love that. Live streaming, it really is something that helps people to feel more excitement, more immediacy and urgency. This year, I've seen the growth, a spike in people using Amazon live selling. And it's huge. And I'm putting a toe in the water right now just because I have so many things going on. But I will tell you, you remember QVC? How many of you remember waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you see somebody on and they're selling this thing and you know you don't even need it, but they sold that thing so well, you picked up the phone, dialed that 1-800 number and you bought it. Well, people are doing this now with Amazon live stream selling. And it's a big deal because there's an immediacy for people to feel like, okay, you know what? They're saying that I need this. They gave me reasons why I think I need it. I'm going to go ahead and click the button. And you can do it right from a live stream. So selling is absolutely one thing you can do on live streaming. It's not what I do the most. I do more teaching and education. Some people do entertainment. But selling is absolutely an avenue that you can go down if that's your passion. 79% of people say a brand's live video has convinced them to buy a piece of software or an app. So even when I'm not on Amazon Live, when I do my regular weekly live stream, and I've had it happen right here. Let me give you proof. Somebody asked, I think it was Ken, asked me, what am I using? I'm using Ecamm Live. Now, if I were in my live stream, I would pop up my affiliate link for Ecamm Live, the software I use. I get questions all the time about, hey, Tanya, what's this gear you're using? What's this video? Do you have a recommendation for this? And so I always have a recommendation for just about anything I'm using, because I have signed up for affiliate programs so that I can earn commission when I share these different programs, products, and gear. And that creates not only a win for me, but it's a win for my potential customer, the one that just went out and bought something from someone else. If they love that thing, they're coming back to me and they're going to say, hey, I want to be a part of your program, your academy, or your community, or whatever. So you really have to think broader when you start thinking about live streaming. It is not just about getting on camera and talking. It is about truly creating a business strategy, a content strategy using video. Yes, Tracy, live streaming would have probably blown that thing up back then, especially. But right now, it's not too late to get into the game, because there's still not a lot of people that know how to do it or that are choosing to do it. And the tools that you can use now, just remind me at the end, if we have time, I will talk about an app, a platform that allows you to, well, it can do a whole lot of magic with Amazon Live. Just don't let me forget. It's called Be Live. I'll come back to it. Okay. So the 4 things, the 4 benefits, I probably have moved some of you from number 1, from phase 1 into phase 2. Yes. I love it. I'm going to come back to that question for sure, Mirka. I love it. Janetta said, you got this. No judgment over here. I'm cheering you on. Let's go, Tracy. So these 4 things, affordable, it's affordability, it's trust building, it's deeper connection, and it will help you to stand out online. I hope that's given you kind of an overview of some of the reasons why I think it really, truly works. Yes, Laura, I'm going to talk about that. That's a good one, a good question. As a matter of fact, let's talk about it now. Not sure how to leverage live in my line of work, financial planning. Oh my goodness, this is a good one. Okay, so I'm going to come off script for a minute, and I want to talk a little bit about this for you. I believe that there is a space for anyone who chooses to use live video. I really believe that. The thing that you have to think about is that you have to be willing and committed to being yourself authentically at all times. And when you're talking about something, thank you. This is a birthday gift, my earrings. When you're thinking about a topic like financial planning and financial literacy or anything in that space, it can be really overwhelming. It's been overwhelming for me and my husband in the past before we finally got our act together, right? And a lot of people don't have their act together, and they want to come to you to find out, how can I be better at planning for wealth building, right? The thing is it's a space where you really do want to build trust. You need to build trust. And I've worked with financial services providers and financial planners in the past. And one of the key things I can tell you is, oftentimes they think that all they can do is they go and they write books, which is great. In fact, one of the people that I worked with had written a book. It was an amazing book that talked about financial planning. When we sat down and he said, I don't know what I'd even say on videos. I said, aren't you an author of a book? Pull your book out. Let's look at the chapters in your book. Oh, chapter 1, that's a video. Like, you got how many message points are in there? That's actually 10 videos. What he did is he converted the information that was in the book into short 10-minute or less videos that showed who he was, showed that he was in a casual shirt, he was sitting on a couch, he was talking to the camera. It was like he was right across from the person, from the individual he's talking to that's watching the video and consuming the information. It made them feel comfortable. He invited them to have a private call. because it builds that trust, financial planning is absolutely a space where you can use video to either do one of four things. I'm going to say this to you all. It's not part of the presentation, but I'm going to share it with you. I call it ABCDs. It's a sales cycle using video. Your A is for awareness. If you can create videos that help people to be more aware of you, those are your brand attraction videos, right? The B is for bonding. You're going to create videos that will help people to bond with you and to know more about you and why you're passionate about what you do. The C is for conversion. How am I converting people from being just a watcher and a consumer of my content into actually being a paying client? And there are sales methods that you can use, and there's soft sales methods you can use, and there's hard sale methods you can use, like with webinars, right? Where you're offering, hey, come and work with me for my program and, be a part of my coaching program for the next 90 days, et cetera, whatever. And then the D is delight. I reserve my delight videos for the people that are already a part of my paid membership community or other spaces, like they're a coaching client. The D is where I'm delighting them. I'm nurturing them. I'm loving on them. I'm sending them a personal video to say, hey, girl, hey, I wanted to check in on you because we had that call last week and I wanted to find out how things went, right? It's your follow-up process. So the D is the delight. And those become your raving fans that send people through the whole process again, back up to A. You can create all of those type of videos, and that will be a huge part of your sales process and your funnel, and it will drive people to work with you. Doesn't matter what your niche is, and especially financial planning, they need to trust you. So it could be a real stepping stone for you for that. Let me go into slides again, but I also want to make sure I'm capturing some of these questions. I'll come back to that, Stephanie. There's a lot of questions about Ecamm Live, so I definitely will come back to that. Okay. All right. So I hope I gave you a little bit of seed there to think about live for your financial planning. So here's the key to good, Laura. Thank you. Key to getting ready. Here's my 3 tips. I know we're coming up on time, so I want to make sure I give you all the content. And I think I just went backwards, so I'm going to go forwards because that's what we want to do. Let me tell you what it's not, and I'll share with you what it is. What it's not is buying a bunch of fancy equipment and gadgets. People see my studio set that I've created now, and they're like, oh my God, I want that. Can I go get me a love sign too? Can I get... they're asking for the key lights and they're asking for the, streaming platform software and they're asking for all the stuff, but that is not what makes things fly. Also, acting outside of yourself and being a phony is not what makes things work. So you really want to think about, how can I embrace who I truly am and be that all on camera and be okay with the judgment that may or may not follow. But I like fancy equipment. I know, Ken, me too. I'm such a nerd. It sounds like we are of the same pod. I know, I love it, but we have to be careful that we don't lean on that as the crutch, because here's what happens is people go out and they buy all this fancy dancy gear, and then they never do a doggone thing with it. They never do a live video, or they do one video and they never come back. And guess what? Then they come and they say, well, I tried doing live and it didn't work. Well, yeah, that's because your content wasn't even well thought out, or you weren't consistent. Like you did one in 6 months. That's me. Ken, yes, I get it because I've been there. So I can say this honestly. So it's not any of that. And it's not you finding other people's videos and trying to be like them. Although I tried that. Ding, ding, ding. I tried that. I said, yeah, you know what? I see this other person and they're really successful, so I want to be them. And then I tried to get on camera and be them, and it flopped. It wasn't until I was okay with myself. It wasn't okay. It wasn't, people can see whatever you put on camera, it gets magnetized. It's like it gets blown up. So if you put on camera a false image and you look uncomfortable and you feel unenthusiastic about what you're talking about and you don't want to be there, it's going to really show up. If you come on camera and you have fun, when things go wrong now, I just laugh. Like, it's funny because, hey, I knew this was going to happen at some point. It just had to be today. Right? So be yourself at all times, be authentic, and don't worry yet about the gadgets and all the pageantry until you know that you're going to be committed to doing live. I want you to get the commitment first. So let's do this. And I see a really wonderful question I'm going to answer from Tanya in just a minute too. How to get ready, because I want to make sure I give you this. It's not about the things that I mentioned. It's not about. It is about, however, being prepared. You want to be prepared. You don't need to be perfect, but you do want to be prepared. You need to think about, what am I going to talk about on camera? Instead of just pressing the go button. I know people tell you, I know I probably have even said it to you. If you watched any of my videos, I probably said, just click go live. But really, first, I want you to think about, what am I going to say? And you don't have to write out a huge script. Okay. So the 3 things I have on here: define how long. So you want to think about, just consider, I just want to do a 5-minute video, or I'm going to do a 10-minute video. Whatever you put out there, you're going to fill up. This is why people can do 60-second videos on TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts, because they put out there, I'm going to do a 60-second, and then they met the bucket. They filled the bucket. So whatever time frame you want to give yourself, come up with a time frame. And then I want you to just write an outline, and it could be something simple. It could be something simple. Dion, I'll come back and I'll rephrase those at the end. I promise. Define your script by doing this. So here's how I started. I started by using sticky notes, and I just I had a ring light at the time when I first started and tried to start building. Yes, thank you, Mirka, for putting that in there. And I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. It may be Mirka or Mirka. So you'll have to correct me at the end. Writing a script doesn't mean you're writing a book, because you don't want to appear to be reading. You want to make sure that you sound conversational and that you are conversational. So literally, you can just put a bullet point. And guess what? When you do this quick little outline, you can even do an outline. I use something called Workflowy. Workflowy. It's just like it sounds. WORKFLOWY. Workflowy is my tool of choice because it's an outline that I can use, and there's so much that you can do with it. But what I do is I just put simple bullets, and that way I don't forget what I'm going to talk about. I don't write out the entire script, but I know, oh, I want to talk about these 3 points in relation to this topic. And then the third thing to be prepared is to be mindful of your environment. So you want to think about where you're going to do the live. Sometimes what people do is they just go live and they forget that, oh, I had a whole laundry basket full of dirty clothes right behind me. And now people have seen that, and that's taken away from the credibility I was trying to build as a professional on camera, right? You just be mindful. I'm not telling you have to have a specific type of set. I would say if you're just starting out, one of the easiest ways to go is a blank wall. It doesn't have to have a lot of, again, pageantry. You can literally use a blank, solid color wall. Now, if you use a wall that has a lot of wallpaper with florals and zigzags and all kinds of stuff, that could be a distraction. So you want to kind of be careful of that, but a solid colored wall. And if you want to put like a simple plant or something behind you, you could do that too, but keep it simple starting out and just be mindful of your environment. That's the preparation tip. Workflowy. So it's WORK Flowy instead of the 2 E's. You got it. Thank you, Donna Lisa. Number 2 was to invite more eyes. I wanted to give you this tip, and then I'm going to give you number 3. And then I promise I'm going to go back and answer these questions. I promise. Okay. So what's the key to getting more eyes on your content? If you're going to go live and you're worried about crickets, I had a cricket sound bite in here somewhere, but I'm not going to mess with that. If you're afraid of that, one of the things you can do is think about how you want to tell people. How do you promote your video and tell people ahead of time? Now, starting out, you may be in the boat of, I don't really want people to show up because I'm still learning and I'm feeling really self-conscious and I'm not really confident about this. And that's okay. When you first start doing your lives, you can certainly practice and just do it in a private space and show a couple of friends or colleagues that you trust to give you honest, positive, constructive feedback. Okay, constructive is the key. Not somebody that's trying to pull you down, but somebody that's trying to lift you up and support you by giving you honest, constructive feedback. So you can do that, but when you're ready to really get more eyes, when you truly are ready for that, you want to pre-schedule your videos. So what I do typically is I use some type of third-party platform like Ecamm Live, Restream, StreamYard, OneStream Live, Be Live. There's a bunch of them out there right now. Wave Video. Trust me, I've used them all. I have them all. vMix. There's a lot. So you pick one and you get super comfortable and familiar with it. Do a trial for it first before you invest in a whole annual subscription because it can get pricey. But do a trial run, check it out, and use that to pre-schedule your video. So for me on Thursdays, because I go live on Thursdays, I pre-schedule on Tuesday. That's what I try to do. At least 2 days ahead is my goal. And I will tell people, hey, I'm going to be going live, right? By creating a post. And what the post does is it gives people a link. It gives them a button that they can click, and it gives them a reminder option so that they can click on that to get an alert when you go live. So I create a thumbnail using Canva. A thumbnail is simply an image that has words, and it usually is going to have your happy smiling face, and it tells people what your video is going to be about. So I pre-schedule the video using that thumbnail image, and that way they know when I'm going to be live so that they show up. I'll post it on social media, even if I don't use that Canva in the streaming platform, and I will share it to my email list. Now, I'm actually in the process right now of revamping my entire strategy on how I want to do that, because I am understanding the beauty of doing text messaging and email for reminding people of things like that, of live events. There is beauty in that. It's just you need a system. And so I'm working on that. Thank you, Megan. So I will probably be sharing more about my process and how I'm going through the pains of that right now in my communities over the coming months, because it's been very interesting. Okay, so that's getting more eyes. You need to promote. And then once you're on, how do you keep people engaged? This is how you keep them engaged. The secret to presenting on camera in an engaging way is to have passion for your topic. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I kind of skimmed over it, and I want to just say it again. It is so important for you to love what you do. The more you love what you do, the more you are enthusiastic and excited and happy and joyful. And in your spirit, you just know this is what I'm meant to do. That shows up. That shows up. So that passion. Another thing that you can do is include engaging questions. So over time, as you start to become a pro and you get more tenured in your streaming, you're not just going to have the simple outline that I mentioned. You're going to have a whole run of show is what it's called. It's like an outline for how your show will run. Okay. If you're doing this on the regular, like I do every week. And in that process of writing out my run of show, I have the 3 bullets, the message points, but I also have included engagement questions and spots where I want to ask people to interact, just like I've kind of done tonight, right? I'll do that in my lives. Another thing is visual disruption. And this is a psychological thing because especially when people are watching video, you don't want to keep your scene the same the entire time. This is why you'll see on YouTube and some other channels and spaces where you're looking at video where people are changing their scene, their angles. So their camera angle is different each time. It's because it's a visual disruption. It's keeping people engaged. It's like drawing them back to attention. Show enthusiasm for what you know is what I started out with. So that is really important, that you need to have that energy level. And one of the things you don't have to do is to force yourself to be on camera when you really just are not in that space of energy. The 3 things, let me wrap it up this way, because I want to make sure to leave time for your questions. Do I still have some time, Donalisa? To
Yes,
take
ma'am.
questions?
You have about 20 more minutes.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. Let me summarize these 3 things, but I do want to go back to that point I was just about to dive into a little bit because I think it's really important. Preparation, promotion, and passion, these 3 P's will get you far. Not only with live streaming, but with any type of online or digital marketing. If you have these 3 things, these are the keys to your success, I promise you. The one thing I want to spend just a couple of seconds on, I won't spend minutes on it, but I want to say this to you about the whole passion thing. And that is, I remember when I started doing live, I was trying to do it for everyone else but me. What I mean is, I was going and I was researching and I was looking into the articles and listening to the gurus and the people that were saying, well, everybody's on video at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time, in such and such place. Like they were giving you these rules and putting you in this box and telling you this is when you need to do what you need to do. What I discovered is that there is a happier place. And the happier place for me when doing live is that intersection between me having the energy to do it, to go live. Again, this is especially important for introverts, and when people are likely to show up. And sometimes what you have to do is you need to position yourself in a way that people want to show up for you, right? I started out going live at a certain time and it was not working for me. I was running in, flying in by the seat of my pants, barely making it into the seat. So by the time I got on camera, I was like, okay, everybody. All right, it's time. I was tired. I was exhausted. I sounded horrible. And people could feel that energy. They could feel it was low energy. It was not the right time. I was trying to do what the formula said to do, but you're going to feel your way around this thing. So I'm not going to sit here and try to tell you what the perfect time is for you. I will say that you want to research and figure out who your audience is. If you know who your most valuable video viewer is, you know who's your audience, what their demographics are, what's the most likely time that they will be available to join you in a live. But then also consider, at these different times that I'm experimenting with, when do I feel at my best? Am I fully awake and present? Do I feel like I have the energy to really put on an engaging conversation? Because that is the biggest and that's the exceptional beauty of live video over pre-produced or on-demand video. It is that you get to have this discussion with people and they come back for the discussion and for the party. They come back because you know their names. They come back because they know you're going to acknowledge them. And sometimes all people want is to be acknowledged. That one time you're doing your live stream, that may be the only time that they ever have someone acknowledge them and really see them, even though you can't see them. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope this is making sense. But I really want to make sure that you get that the power of live is the engagement. I know some other people are going to tell you, thank you so much for the affirmation. Some people are going to tell you, just do pre-produce, just, record it and then put it into the hopper and let it go. And yeah, you can do that, but you're not going to get the type of engagement. You're not going to build the community. You're not going to have the real personal relationship building that you want and need so that you can grow a client base of people who love you and you love them back. That's what I love. That's what I love. I'm so glad. I am trying to be real. I promised y'all I would be real. I'm even using y'all instead of being my formal self. Because I want you to really get that this is from my heart. And I'm telling you this because I've experienced it. I've experienced growth on a personal level and a professional level because of live video. It's huge. It's huge. The South is where it's at, y'all. I'm glad too, Yolanda. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to answer some questions, but I'll leave you with these last slides first. So the real secret is to be yourself completely and unapologetically. I added this slide this morning. I made a TikTok using this slide because it hit me this morning. Sometimes you wake up and you have that thought, and usually for me, it's a note to self. And my note to self usually fits other people. And so I wanted to share this note to self with you. When you are yourself completely and unapologetically you, it is amazing. It will have incredible results. Let me tell y'all a quick story, and then I promise I really am going to wrap this up. And I do have some FAQs in here that I can answer, but I want to answer your questions first. So what I'm going to do is just pop this card up. And I'm going to say this little story. So the unapologetically you, let me tell you how I almost got in trouble. I almost gave up video because somebody got on one of my videos. I was still really new and I was worried about being judged and all the things. And I felt like, oh, my confidence level is not, I just don't have the esteem, but I'm pushing through anyway. Right. And so I'm on camera and I'm doing my thing and I'm talking about marketing. This is around the time that my husband's situation was happening. And because he was going through all of this chemo stuff and his hair was coming out and he couldn't feel his hands and feet and they felt like nerves, just like it was just a really bad time, y'all. I was feeling some of the same angst and I was going through it too. And at the time, I had like all this really bad acne that was popping up. You know how when you're feeling turmoil inside, sometimes it shows up, and it was showing up big time. And here I am trying to be on video. And I had my hair falling out in chunks. So I went to the salon and I said, I just can't deal with hair right now, not with all the other stuff going on. I was in tears. Just cut it off. Just cut it all off. And it was buzz cut. And I'm on camera and I'm talking on camera and doing this video thing. And I'm talking about marketing. This woman pops up in the feed. I will never forget her. It's a blessing now, but at the time she popped up in the feed and she said, if I were to put your picture next to the definition of unprofessional in the dictionary. And I was like, wait, where did that come from? She thought, because whatever she thought about my appearance, that I wasn't professional because I had my hair cut boy short, and she thought it was unprofessional. And so she decided she wanted to put this in the comments. And the problem with this comment is, and there are other stories, but this one in particular, really, I want you to hear it. The problem with the comment is it showed up on screen. Because at the time, I didn't know any better. And I just had comments showing up on screen. They were just popping across. And so everybody saw it. And I was embarrassed and I was hurt. And I tried to push through anyway. And then I signed off and I sent her a note. And I said, I'm not sure what the intention was. Like, why did you feel like you needed to say that on my live? I was trying to help you. I could almost hear right, the the rolling of the, I could almost hear that in the comments, the text. And so at the time I thought I was okay. In that moment, I thought I was okay. And I was like, whatever. And I blocked her. Right. And I thought, when? But do y'all know, for the next several months, it happens gradually. For the next several months, I started wearing wigs. Because I felt like, well, maybe other people feel the same way she does. And maybe something's wrong with me. And maybe I need to have longer hair so that I can look like other people do on video. I felt all those things, all the emotions, and I did not know how much that ate me up. So I'm telling you this to say, not everyone is there for your good. You will learn over time how to deal with trolls and people who are not there for your good. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you when you do live, it's going to be all gravy and everybody's going to love you and they're going to love your content. I've had people that have put the nastiest things in my comments on YouTube. You learn systems and you create processes that help you to deal with and manage those situations. I wanted to share that with you because finally, at some point, I realized I had taken on her baggage and it was not my own to take. And this is something we do. Sometimes we take on the baggage of other people and make it our own, and it distracts us and it keeps us from being successful and from doing what we need to do in our businesses. And after I took that wig off, finally, months later, it took months. After I took that off and I said, you know what, I'm going to do me and be me, things changed. The whole way I did things transformed. I became much more carefree. I put systems in place to help manage the situation. And it was huge. It was like a weight lifted off of my shoulders. It came out in my content because my content got better. I got better on camera. So I'm telling you, don't let other people's opinions hold you back from doing video. Your job is to reach the people who need to be reached. My mantra when I get on camera every week is right message, right time, right person. It might be one person, it might be none. So just wanted to share that. Okay, now I'm going back through comments so I can make sure I answer questions. I don't know what's wrong with people, Laura, but not everyone is there for your good, and know that. And then make sure you just kind of, you'll get that thicker skin the more you go live, the more you look. Competence makes confidence. So the more you practice, the more you get on camera, the more competent you'll become and the more confident you will be. And confidence is not a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. So don't think that just because you see me on here now talking with confidence, that I don't get butterflies every time I get on video. I got butterflies coming on here. You will, but you'll push through anyway, the more you do it. Okay, so I'm scanning. I'm going all the way back up and I'm scanning to make sure I answer questions. Let's see.
I think I've got them pulled up from where you kind of stopped off, Tanya, if you want some help.
Yay. Can you help me? Thank you.
I can. So Mirka asks, what is your happy medium balance for live, in person, and online content for posts?
So that's a really great question. I will tell you, when I got into live video, I just started going all in on live, and I didn't do a lot of video on demand, or VODs as people call them. I didn't do a lot of those. Now that I got my sea legs and I'm really comfortable with live, now I've made the decision that I do want to have more of a balance. For me still, because I am a live stream video coach, I'm probably going to stick with maybe about 70 to 80% live, and the rest of it will be repurposed into on demand and short video content, because short video content right now is getting amazing results from a visibility standpoint. So people that don't know you, that fall into that A category, awareness building, those people are the people in TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels. right? So you do want to have some produced video content that just lives out there and that's super short. And even some webinars, right? That may be longer, but they're on demand. You want to have a good mix. Now you have to think about for your business what makes the most sense. What I'm seeing on average is most people are going to have some type of weekly live, and then they're going to have their regular videos. For me, what I'm moving towards now is I will do the weekly live, and I'm aiming for having one produced video that talks about video tech. And that produced video will probably be a 10-minute or less video each and every week, or at least 2 times a month. I'm still getting that all right in my head, but I'm playing with the formulas. And that's what I want to encourage you to do is play around and experiment. See what's going to make the most sense for your business. So I mix it up. I hope that answered.
Great. I think that it was fantastic. So Latanya asked, I'm awkward on video. During my live video, can I just show my slides to get the same results instead of showing myself?
I would love to tell you yes, but no. I tried that. That's why I can tell you that. When I first started doing video, if you look on my YouTube channel at my really old videos, all you will see are slides because I was dead set on I'm not putting my face out there. But I will tell you, it goes back to that human interaction thing. It's about the personal. It's about people getting to know you, right? Now, depending on your topic, Latanya, and I don't know what your topic is, so if you put that in the chat, I can see what that is. There may be some topics you might be able to get away with that a little bit, but here's what I would suggest. I propose to you to challenge yourself to start out with slides just to get your feet wet and just to try doing live video with slides. And then I want you to start peeking out around the corner and putting a slide next to your face. Put your face next to the slide. Just do that. So for the first month, I want to challenge you to do 4, so 1 every week with slides. And then month 2, you got to send me a DM and say, Tanya, it's month 2. I promise you I would let you know I'm going to start peeking out around the corner. And I want you to peek out around the corner and put your face next to the slide and see what the difference is in the engagement you get. Because I bet it'll be different. So there's my answer.
I love it. I love a challenge. So Eva would like to know, what tip would you give for someone that has an accent when speaking on video so the audience can understand clearly?
Yes. Someone earlier had asked about captions, and many, including LinkedIn, many of the live streaming spaces now will allow you to have closed captions, Eva. So if you're concerned, if you're worried about it, then what I want you to make sure you do is, first of all, test it. Because sometimes we think that we have obstacles that we really don't. So I want you to test, run, because I watch a lot of videos with people that have very thick and different accents from mine. I didn't even know I had an accent until somebody said, you have a drawl, which I think I do. I'm a Southern girl. Yeah, I got a drawl. I didn't realize it until somebody said it, but I want you to test it out and see how and see if you can get feedback. Remember, I talked about practicing and having constructive feedback from people who care about you, love you, and will tell you the truth. See what they say. And if you're really struggling with that, then you consider using closed captions. And there are ways that you can incorporate live captions into your different streams. Now, Ecamm itself, to the person that asked that earlier, I don't know that Ecamm includes that, but I think the different spaces do, like Facebook will, YouTube will, LinkedIn will. But you have to go into the settings in the background of your profiles and make sure that gets turned on.
Okay. And Shayla, sorry if I said it wrong. She asked, do you recommend I start with shorter pre-taped videos on social media before going live so I can practice my environment, writing outlines, and seeing what topics my customers want, or just jump right in?
Let me ask you this. What do you think I'm going to say? Jump in. Look, what's holding you back is you. That's the only thing holding you back, right? So I'm going to send you some confetti love if I can. I love that you asked that question because you're giving yourself permission to do one or the other. So my hope for you is that you will give yourself permission to jump in and do a live. Now, if you feel comfortable, you feel more comfortable doing the vertical, sure, you can make the excuse that you need to do it the opposite way first. But I'm going to tell you, because I'm direct and transparent, as I promised, that you don't have to do that, but you can. So if you choose to do the short vertical videos and pre-record them to get more comfortable, absolutely, by all means, do what works for you. But I will also give you the permission, and I hope you give yourself the permission to just try to go live and see how it feels. Just try the shoe on. And if it doesn't feel right now, then go to the vertical and try those first.
She said, ouch, I needed that. Don't we all?
Yes.
Let's do it. So we're
Competence,
getting ready to
competence.
wrap up. So if anybody has any last minute questions for Tanya, now's the time to get them in. This was amazing, amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just glad I got a chance to be here with you.
So Ken actually said, I'm so glad I attended this. There's so much to absorb, but I'm really excited about how I will experiment with video to boost my business. Thank you for not turning on the lava lamp, or I wouldn't have been able to pay attention to you. So
I love it, Ken. Thank you.
Any more questions? Going once, going twice? Did you want to throw up your slide real quick, Tanya, where they can
Here,
find
I'll do
you? Yeah,
that.
that one.
That's where you can find me. So feel free to connect. Streamlikeaboss.tv is a really good way. Oh, and I have a free gift. I almost forgot. I have a free gift that I'll pop up for you too. And that is a confidence boosters. It's confidence boosters. If I can find it, there we go. If you go to this link right here, Tanya.video/confidence boost workbook. There's a workbook you can download. And inside the workbook, there's actually a video that will give you 7 tips on boosting your confidence on camera. So feel free to check it out. It will add you to my email list. Yes. So if you do sign up for it and you want to get on my list, yay. And if you decide you want to unsubscribe, that's okay too. I want you to do what makes sense for you. I'm in the process right now of revamping everything. Like I mentioned, my emails, my text messages, all of that. So you may not right away get emails from me because I'm being thoughtful about how I want to do this. But I also want to make sure that I'm able to reach folks because sometimes Facebook goes down. And YouTube and LinkedIn, all of them. And this is the way that I stay in touch. So streamlikeaboss.tv is where you'll see our stream schedule. That's probably the best way to connect, is going to your favorite social platform. Thank you for having me, ladies.
Thanks for
and gentlemen.
agreeing. Yes. So Gigi, I'm not sure if your question is specific to tonight. So everybody that registered for this event will get the replay link directly to their email. In addition to that, we do post it up on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of great content on there. So if you were talking specifically for tonight, that's how you'll be able to listen again. So, okay, perfect, perfect. All right, well, thank you so much. It was so nice to have you on here. And Tracy, did you want to
say something since I can't see? Oh, Tanya, that was so great. There were such great tips and everything in there that you had. And I think now, especially with time of Zoom and people now, they don't care if animals show up or whatever. I think people are very forgiving and don't expect a video to be perfect anymore.
That's right.
That it was great. And then I have to laugh. I see Donna Durbin up there. And when somebody asked about accents, that's her business. So it was like, I saw her eyes pop wide.
We all
I
have,
love it.
we all have accents.
Exactly. But it's been wonderful tonight. Thank you, everyone who attended. Donna Lisa, do you want to just give an overview of what's coming up next? Then we'll be out of
Yes.
here.
Yes, ma'am. So real quick, so our October Women Rise is October 11th. We have Ann Salick from Adaption Financial Advisors. She's coming in to talk about succession planning or how to increase the value of your business. And we just want to encourage everybody to come out to that one, even if you're just getting started or maybe thinking about a business. You always want to think about succession planning. And then one of our big things that we have coming up, as Tracy mentioned at the beginning, our Start Her grant is open, and that is our, we do it every fall. It is, we're awarding $5,000 to 25 women. And as part of that grant, we also do our small business training course, and that's a 5-workshop that we do. It starts November 8th through December 6th, and it will be every Tuesday. And as we get more information about that, we will pass that out. So even though it is for our Start Her grant winners, we do open it up for our community, and there's always a lot of great information on there. We have a really great marketing person lined up for that, and so it's going to be really, really good. In addition, our Accelerate Her Houston program applications are open. Our Accelerate Her Dallas applications are open. So we have a lot of really great things that are going on. I'm going to put our link tree in the chat, and it has everything on there if you're interested in any of those things. And that's all I've got, Tracy.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Hope you all have a great evening. And Tanya, thank you again. That was wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.
Gigi, the small business training workshops are going to be all virtual. And then our Women Rise is always in person and virtual.
And our Women Rise is in the morning. It's from 7:30 to 9 o'clock, and we have free breakfast. So those of you that are on campus or nearby, join us.
We would love to have you.
So,
Oh, may I share my Ecamm Live link? It looks
Yeah.
like somebody asked for that. I'm going to just pop it into the chat real quick here.
Okay.
So there you go. That's Ecamm Live.
very good.
We will also download the chat and send it with the email. So everybody will have it.
Great. Good night.